right, have a good recording, Frank.
Thanks. See you later. Love that sound. Hey, Psychic Frank's Mystery School. I am your host, Psychic Frank. Oh, so much I want to get to today. I'm a psychic healer and I use numerology and astrology and the tarot cards. And I have them all spread out here, the big spread. But I noticed last week, 2 weeks ago, I'm here the first and the third Friday at 1 o'clock. SF Commons via BAVAC, Bay Area Video Coalition. As you can see, we still don't have the phones hooked up. And that's a shame. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, and I was saving the cards until the end of the reading, but end of the session, I call this a session. Isn't this cool what we got going on here? Anyway, but then during what I'm doing, I wanted to ask the cards and I couldn't because they were all spread out. So I figured I'd get this out of the way and then we'll get into what's going on. And yeah, so I put some thought into this. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, we are the sun's in Aries, sun's in Libra, and um, we're getting this is in numerology. What we got here is 2026 equals 1. In numerology, you reduce things to one digit. Use numbers to one digit to get, to get the essence of that. Unless it's a master number, 11, 22, 33, 44. So 2026 is a 1 vibration. So this is a 9 completion year. And October is a 1 month and a 9 year. So what I'm getting at is we're going to get it, and this month just started. We're going to get a taste this month of what the next 9 year cycle is going to bring starting January 1st, 2026. And we're coming up to the Aries, super moon in Aries on the 6th here on the West Coast, 14 degrees. Yeah, this is. I was listening to Pam Gregory. She's an amazing astrologer, and because I have too much respect for the really good astrologers out there. I'm good at, but I use it as like numerology and my main. I mainly it's all my own ability there, my own psychic ability. Uh, so what do we got going on there? Yeah, boy, it's the fascist regime is in full swing. Yeah, as I said on my last show, look for a 0, 2 degrees Aries or any planets, any planets or asteroids. 0 degrees Aries to 2 degree, 0 degrees to 2 degrees. Never mind the sign, any sign at all. But come this spring and summer of 2026, it's like the drawbridge goes down and all these opportunities come right in. I was watching The View the other day, and my heart, you take him out of New York, but you can't take New York out of him. And I was raised there, so and I do have a couple of dear friends who live there still, and I'm really taken by Zoran Mondani, Mandani, 33-year-old, born in South somewhere in Africa, Middle Eastern. Always, wow! It's just I was almost crying the other day. I said because then I realized, boy, look what we've got, a vulture capitalist. You know, it made me like, wow. New York's got it now. And then they had Como and his God, and the Como brothers, the crazy Como brothers, talking about he's a socialist. If you care about society, you're a socialist. If you care about the community, you're a communist. In the meanwhile, the fascists and all their plain semantics are taking over. I mean, they keep my guides keep. When I say they, my guides keep telling me, "Oh, it's going to get a lot worse." But this is we made it through Eclipse Month, and it's all about big changes. So, and also what's going on this month is on the 6th. We have a solar eclipse, uh, a full moon, super moon eclipse on the 6th. And then shortly after that, on the 14th, Pluto goes direct 1 degree Aquarius. And Pluto, and it's going to form a sweet aspect with Neptune starting right after this new moon coming up, the super new moon. And this means Pluto's like the ugly, toxic swamp, and all the filthy, disgusting, heinous secrets were all going to be information that are all going to come out. So I believe the Epstein files will surface. And let's see what we got. Let's get these cards out of the way, and then we'll get into some really good stuff. Although I believe it's all pretty interesting. Yeah, this is, yeah, Pam Gregory's a British astrologer. Then there's Molly McCord, and of course Kathy Rose. Those are my favorite. You could get them on YouTube, but I keep on getting back to I don't know what it is with Pam Gregory. Well, it's all about the heart. I mean, what did she say? Uh, oh, here we go. Oh, what is this? Where did this come from? It says, "Every lie is a poison. There are no harmless lies. Only the truth is safe. Only the truth gives me consolation. It is the one unbreakable diamond." Yeah, beautiful. And then there was something I was going to say here about. Oh yeah, so what's going on now astrologically? There's this cavalry. She put it. Pam Gregory was talking about this cavalry of comets that is happening in our sky, and also this 3-1 Atlas. This it's not a comet. I believe it's a vehicle shaped like a cigar shape. I think they're observing us, and once it's not like like the planets. It's like a circle or it's a recycled. No, this is like a one and done. I believe it's my guides are telling me it's the harbinger of like many, many, many more. I think we're being observed. We've been observed since the caveman by advanced civilizations, and I believe that's what's going on there. But it's a system upgrade for us all. Higher intelligence is coming in for sure. This is linked to. It's all linked to our heart chakra. I mean, it's so important to remember the facts, and the facts is when our fetus is being created, the first solid organ, the first solid thing is our heart. And then everything else comes together, and our heart knows our sexual preference, our what we like, what we don't like, our everything about us. It's all about our heart. So tune into your heart. The mind is, oh, bless our minds. The wire doesn't create electricity just like the mind doesn't create thought. It's a conduit to let the thoughts come through. That's why so many people have mindless. They don't care. They have these mindless. They let anything that come into their consciousness. I like TV. I'm fascinated with this instrument TV, and I don't have cable. It's too violent. I know if you're watching me in San Francisco, thank you. and but you know the the ads. Yeah, I know it's a capitalist society, but man, it's like they just get into your mind the most vulnerable times, flashing, you know, all kinds of heinous pictures of. Oh, I don't want to get into it, but it's like, we still haven't gotten it. The mind, body, spirit, the mind, body connection. It's like we just let anything, it's like a minefield out there. A minefield. It is a minefield. Our minds. You got to really I got when I studied with the Tibetan monks. they just told me, you know, it's not enough to be a vegan, vegetarian, whatever, you know, but be mindful. Like if you're watching TV, and don't go watch cooking shows if they're cooking meat. And the other day I was watching them make some kind of a soup, and then all of a sudden she turned around and grabbed this animal carcass, and I went ah, and I grabbed it and twistly, you know, fumbled for the remote control to change the channel. Yeah, what happened when I left my body and I went to I had my out of body experience. Like this is the book One Mind by Larry Dossey, and he said. He explains this one guy talking about it. It is indescribable. The wonders he experienced, he was granted were conveyed wordlessly. Ordinary language was unnecessary, or as Master Eckhart put it, it's God's nature to be without nature. No description possible. Well, when in 1982 I had my out of body experience, and it's all full of people who have these. I believe I actually died and was blessed to come back. In one life, I've had two lives, and but they never let you come back just for kicks and giggles. They put something in the heart that gives you a mission. You know, so this is my mission. Thank you for being part of it. Yeah, and arguably, Einstein said the most famous science in history affirmed the value of breaking the bondage of the personal ego. See, Einstein was talking about uh, uh, entanglement with quantum physics. The whole quantum mechanics thing was entanglement. It was all about entanglement, and uh, and that's what psychic healers do. We're entangling ourselves. Einstein called it spooky, the spooky side of it, because they couldn't put every time they tried to pin down quantum energy, it would do spooky things, you know. Well, that's why and Einstein's exactly words were. But in my world now, there's no turning it off. It's a mystical world. Get into it, man. Dig it. And cannabis is a healing substance. Okay, let's get right to the cards because then there's so many other things I want to cover here. Okay, let's see what my friends. I said because everybody wants to know how can I help? How can I help? What's going on now? Well, there's not much we can do until November election. This November, please vote yes on 50, and let's get it leveled out there so we can gain some seats in Congress, at least in the Senate, wherever. At least we'll get some things done, but it's going to be next November. But as I said, if we can at least get it in an even playing field, because Donald Trump is not going easy. You know, Chris, this is not a Christian nation. This is not a Christian. The Christian nation is the American Taliban, and I resent that. You know, mind over medicine. There's a guy named Terrence McKenna right here. I got this card at the Anarchy bookstore on Lower Haight Street, not lower, it's right below Masonic on Haight Street. And this guy Terrence McKenna said, "If the words life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, quote unquote, do not include the right to experiment with your own consciousness." Experiment with your own consciousness, then the Declaration of Independence isn't worth the hemp it was written on. Yes, the original Declaration of Independence that's in where they display it in Washington, D.C., that's on parchment. But there's a stack of the scratches, you know, the rough drafts, all on hemp paper. And and it says consciousness over medicine. Consciousness is medicine. Thoughts are cell tissue, as my beloved friend Louise Hay said. What is to give light must endure burning. We're all becoming light beings now. And just take some breaths. I like what Pam Gregory said this morning. I was listening to her. This one she says about this solar, this new moon, uh, Aries new moon. She said, use your heart picture your heart like you would, like you use your lungs, breathing in and out. Let your heart breathe in and out. And then I like what I was looking for here. She says, uh, before before you were born. Uh, well, yeah, oh yeah, here's a good one. A puff of keef in the morning gives a man the strength of 100 camels in the courtyard. Yeah, so everybody's asking like, yeah, Einstein said the most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion which stands at the cradle of true art and science. Whosoever does not know it and can no longer wonder, no longer marvel, it is as good as dead, and his eyes are dimmed. Oh, NASA's freaking out now. Yeah, NASA is totally freaking out because this cigar-shaped observer. It's not a comet. It's advanced civilization checking us out. Okay, I like what it says here. Your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the measure of mental health is the disposition to find good everywhere. So even though we've got this vulture capitalist mayor who, I don't like being deceived. Who does, huh? Who does? Yeah, especially when I saw, and read about and people are talking about this wonderful, this man in New York City, this young man, and then I realized, like, God, did we get the filthy end of the lollipop on this one? Okay, let's see what I got for you all here. In the center of everything, Holy Women, greatest one mind. Okay, here we are. I love this card. This is our true self now, collectively. Knights have quests, and this is the fiery knight. We've got to, like Gladys Knight said, we've got to make the best of a bad situation. As I said, victims don't heal. If that angers you, good. We have a place to start now. You know, I constantly I teach this stuff because I need to learn it. And what we got now is I refused, after all I've been through, I'll be 77 in November. I was born the same day as King Charles there. The Prince and the Pauper. I don't like that, but anyway. Okay, the playful curiosity that first trapped you into this creative center is back. Set aside the rules you've cultivated around your creativity and any limiting beliefs in the power of magic with a K. Consider anything possible until you are proven wrong. There is a whole new world waiting for you to bring it into existence. The page of wands speaks to a fresh start with new skills. Death will pick. I think we've seen death now. We understand how fragile our democracy is, and death will pick you up, spin you around, and drop you down deeper in your own life. What's surrounding us now and information around money. Page of Pentacles. Let's see what the Page of Pentacles is having to say. Yeah, this book I'm referring to now is called The Tarot Guide by Melinda Lee Home. Yeah, as I said, I love it because finding the right words is like they say, like Rumi says, like being in a tailor shop where nothing fits. Yeah, because it's like if, for instance, the page of coins. This page doesn't want to turn. You build with the joy and zeal of someone who has never been told there is a right and a wrong way to make. I like that. The page of coin coaxes your experimental side. You are not afraid to fail and unbothered by the thought of other people not understanding what you do. New and unfamiliar materials and techniques attract you. You build with the joy and zeal of someone who has never been told there is a right or a wrong way to make anything. She just says make. Must be Jewish. A lot of people, I grew up in New York. A lot of Jewish people leave that, just, I like that. It's a wonderful, I reminds me of New York, talking to New York people, to just say they'll leave a sentence like that. So I like that. Okay, so yeah, and if you don't pray for yourself, you're not going to make it. Pray for yourself and pray for yourself a lot. And then people say, "Well, yeah, I should pray for these people." Your life is a prayer. Everything you do is a prayer. Keep in mind when you're on the phone wasting your energy allowance about who's zooming who, da 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 da, and you know, no, let's keep it. They say KISS, keep it simple, sweetheart. It's Reaganomics. Everything, every aspect of Reagan, Ronald Reagan ruined everything. Everything you could, and it's as simple as that. And as I said, we came close to having that exposed. At least we got Joe Biden in a death rattle whisper several times. When he got to trickle down, didn't work. He'd be talking like pretty strong strength wise, and then he'd get to that part and he'd put his head down in shame and go and trickle down economics and everything. Speak up, Joe. Spit it out. No, trickle. I want somebody to get out there. Camel again, trickle down. Spell it out. Ronald Reagan. Donald Reagan. He, as I said, there's been obnoxious, no, well-deserved. The late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. really was belongs to be as high as we could put him. But as I said, he was a human being and he was angry. As I said, Dr. King was one of the most pissed off people of his time. This is a book by Kazu Haga, Haga, and he's a Japanese guy. And I keep on reading this. It's just the most beautiful, you know, hope is the last thing that dies. So let's keep hope alive. As teaching people not to be angry is another common misconception. Dr. King was one of the most pissed off people of his time. Like Gandhi said, his anger fueled his resistance. He was angry about racism, poverty, war, and materialism. There is plenty in this world that we need to be angry about. Yet anger can be dangerous. Like a knife. If you grab a knife, you can cut yourself, get an infection, bleed to death, whatever. If you pick a knife up correctly, you could carve art, cut your vegetables. It can be used strategically to cook food or keep you warm. Certainly, it can tear down, yeah. Dr. King oftentimes spoke of righteous indignation. It's the type of anger that is sparked when we witness human dignity being threatened, channeled in the right direction to protect life against the forces of injustice. Rage towards individuals can be harmless and dangerous. It can hurt both parties and it can widen divisions between people and communities and move us further toward away from beloved community. Yeah, the North Star. While I'm reading this, Dr. King is telling me John Lewis, these people are very much, yeah, they're not on the physical plane. Their body, they made the transition, but their love for this planet now, there are guides, and all you have to do is surround yourself with the love and light of Christ, and praise one mind, universal one mind, and connect with your guide. Talk with them, Dr. King. Humble yourself and say, make me a tool. I will your will. Schopenhauer said there, a man can do as he will, or will as he will, but he cannot will as he will. He can do as he will, but he can't will as he will. Job will be done. Divine will be done for us. And okay, what's over our head now is don't cry over spilt milk. I love this card. Don't cry over spilt milk. They're not cracked. Things aren't cracked. You can pick them up. They're just empty. And if you just turn around, you can see there's two full cups right here. You could fit them. Cross over the river of sadness. There's the bridge right there. And there you are. There's that little castle. So live happily ever after. And then, yeah, we're growing up now. Yeah, we've gone from children of God to adults of God now. We've forgotten, we've become politically, when John, what's his name, Bill Meyer, Barr. Bill Maher was cool the first couple of years there. His show was politically incorrect. How was that, 20 years ago with George W. Bush? Another war criminal. Okay, here's our foundation now. Yeah, we can't do anything now. This is what's below us now. This, no matter what we do, which we're really, until we, our vote is all we got. What we do have now is it's time now. This moon says it's time to get a nurturing community together. I'm in Hayes Valley, so if you want to get a hold of me, I'm right across the street from Patricia Green Park. Send me an email and say, Frank, I'm in Patricia Green Park here in Hayes Valley. Come down and talk to me. And yeah, let's get together. See, what's happening now is divide and conquer. That's how here in San Francisco, London Breed did that to the cannabis community. I'll say one thing, I beg you in all humility, as much as I can, and all respect, because people did vote you in. Yeah, you deceived them. But the fact is, uh, give cannabis harm reduction a second chance. Give it another breath of air. Get the same people who were thrown under the bus, the doctors, the people who are into harm reduction, the guys, the men, women, and who you know how many, back when we were fighting to get 215 passed, women were getting their children taken away from them for smoking. I mean, you could drink alcohol and beat your kids and keep them, but God forbid you. This is all the liquor industry. I can't prove it, of course, but I believe if the FBI was to, if we had a decent FBI, if they would, we haven't had one since Ed Lee, wasn't he being the FBI? I think part of the, to be mayor of the city, you have to have the FBI on your ass. But that's when we had an FBI, but we don't even have an FBI anymore. But I like somebody to do, like, where is the liquor industry now? They're going down. People are realizing now the world, www, the whole world, whole earth, the people who know, the world people who understand what's right. They're 2 years ago, they had the results on this exhausting research on the harm of alcohol. Was some ridiculous thing like a small amount. In other words, one stiff cocktail, and then 3 or 4 glasses of water in between. Who the hell drinks like that? I don't drink anymore, but I imagine, yes, there are social drinkers who will take 2 sips of that and leave it down and go on to something else. When I was a drinker, boy, that was the last thing I did. But that's a good thing about cannabis. You can smoke your ass off, and you can still be on your feet. Cannabis is not a gateway drug. It's the most harmless. And its value right now. There's things for the same eye disease that they found in me, for these injections into your eyeball. Where I found, they told me they couldn't tell me, but they pointed to my cannabis vape pen, that don't quit doing that, because the experts they had a conference said that don't let him stop. Advise him not to quit. What he's doing. So as I said, to cover their own asses, they have to. They couldn't say it in those words, but I got the message. So, and there's no insurance. No insurance that's going to buy my cannabis for me. So, by the way, thank you for all the people that make me here, that bring me here. Not only all the people at Bayback and SF Commons, but my friends, my supporters, people who have been with me for years and love me. It's when you're loved, you get love. What you put out comes back. Okay, where we're coming from now is oh, the new order coming in it really is gonna happen. It's no more. It's inside out. It's bottom up, not down, trickle down. It's going to be the complete opposite. like they say, those will last will soon be first. I mean, it is good. We're gonna have, but it's gonna bottom. Something's gonna happen over the next couple of months. As I said, we're gonna start coming out of this around the summer, the spring and summer of 26 will be a 1 year, and then, as I said, the end of February 26th is when the exact. It's been thousands and thousands of years since those two planets, Saturn and Neptune, have been exactly 0 degrees Aries. And then shortly after that, Pluto and Neptune and Uranus will be 0 degrees. They're Aries, Gemini, and Aquarius. And Neptune will still be 0 Aquarius along with Saturn. I mean, Neptune will still be 0 Aries along with Saturn. And I believe that's going to be the new order, is by 2027. Uh, uh, we're going to be a year of revelations for me, they tell me. Okay, what's ahead for us now? Yeah, things are stirred up. They couldn't be more stirred up. Oh, look at this. The information coming in now. Just Pam Gregory was actually talking about this when what she said about the sixth Aries supermoon in Aries. Yeah, there's information coming in, bad information, bogus information, true wisdom information coming in. And to me, I know shit from Sonella, so but I've lived an extraordinary life, and I always say, God didn't make me a parent in this life, because my kids would have had to get up pretty early in the morning to kind of pull something I hadn't. That's why when people try to, you don't do it anymore because people are afraid of me these days. But as I said, yeah, but this reminds me of what Pam Gregory was talking about this morning. There's so much information coming in now. Let's go, just let it all just go by and realize, uh, listen to your heart. Release this day now. What they call it, mental floss. Realize now. No, that's call what it is. Crap. And then all these talking heads, and they're dissecting it. We have it's in 2 words. Reagan economics got us where we are now. One human being, Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan. Uh, Bottom of the staff of life is what we got here. Is we've got work with your angels. Oh, there's guys, Buddha, uh, Jesus, not the hippie Jesus. I'm not talking about the Nazi Jesus. I'm talking about the Prince of Peace, the healer. Oh, of course, he's eternal being, and definitely he's available to so many people. I want San Francisco. They're telling me it's happening. San Francisco is going to become the healing place, the healing capital of the United States of America, where people go for alternative healings. Right now, as I said, since Ed Lee started with Gavin Newsom's nuisance, where was this Gavin Newsom boy? Let's. It's hard to believe this is the same guy who threw that. Created really was the mother of the homelessness that we got now. All the eviction. Remember the mass evictions? I've been in the city decades, man. Yeah, all the GI vets who living in the Western Addition, hope to live their home to their kids now, couldn't afford what was going on. All of them were being evicted. Occasionally, Lee, what's her name, London Breed, would get one developer who evicted an old lady and put her and herself literally on the sidewalk, and her family was granted after she died a few 100,000 or something. And she made sure I was there for some cannabis event, and boy, London just soaked it up. She got her butt in front of the camera and then exactly walked out. These people just turn their back on the cannabis community, and it breaks our heart now, those of us who believe in, for our own lives, that cannabis is good medicine. What we're marinating in now is, like Earhart said, The new is here. This is the dying making a lot of noise now. Yeah, it's happening now. And it's once again, it's going to be again, uh, yeah, this is that 1% now has got all the power, and that's why they want to bust all the unions. It was Ronald Reagan who made it possible for corporations to buy back their own stock. And never Newt Romney, the Mormon creep there, he made his fortune by buying buildings and then gutting them and selling them, buying institutions and gutting them. And he's responsible for so much of the homelessness, these people. You know, as I said, yeah, this has been a long time coming, but it all goes back to one. Yeah, Ronald Reagan, Ford pardoning Nixon, that was a big mistake. But then, as I said, the bad guys, the bad guys, the darkness, um, they had the middle class was getting outrageously big. It was almost like 66, 67%, and had never been that high. It was like 30, 40. Then it reached, because of course, Dr. King, Bobby Kennedy, his brother, the whole bit. And that's when they realized they needed to bring in the big guns. And that's when they got that light bulb salesman, the General Electric light bulb salesman, Ronald Reagan. And of course, all the World War II guys, what do you want, a medal or a chest to pin it on? They didn't program these, deprogram. Yeah, they programmed it to be human killing machines, but then you have to deprogram. That I want to see that. Oh, the other day it was such a heartache seeing that headset there calling. Oh, it was like, it was so hard. There's no words to how that. Wasn't physically drafted, but I was part of the draft in '67 when I got my first draft card. I was stuck in New York City. I had to go to the draft board every couple of months and check in. Every time I opened my mailbox, it was a sublet on 11th Street between First and Second, and that's when the Lower East Side was the Lower East Side, and no elevators, 11 flights up, cold water flat. I loved it. I think that's why I'm in such great shape now. As I said, it was and then, as I say, after 4 years of that, the draft board sent me a letter saying that I wasn't going to be drafted unless that I'd be free. I could leave New York City now. That's when I came to California. That's when I quit my job and I just needed to get out of New York. I just needed to come here. And I'm still here. I love this city. And that's when I became a healer, realized my true self. There's so many healers. Let's have the psychic fairs come back. Let's start getting, there's this few young people came to see me who were gifted, and I said, where are you studying? And they said, oh, it's in the Hague, the integral sciences. I'm sure these people are not pro cannabis, and I'm sure that I don't understand what they're doing, but there's a you're getting more ability from me and on YouTube now than most people get. You learn there, or just once again, you becoming your own sovereignty, your own teacher. Your body's been waiting for years for you to reach this point now. Don't yeah the energies now make us very uncomfortable, disturb sleep. But once you start fighting them and allow yourself to realize these things are upgrading our consciousness. This Uranus frequency always shakes up the status quo and confronts stagnation, stale energy. We've had nothing but stale energy for decade after decade, and this is that obnoxious energy, odious, disgustingly objectionable, highly offensive. This is what they want to do now with Gaza. Gaza, there, they want to, what they were doing in the South there, what Dr. King said. Dr. King said the peace the newspapers describe is not a real peace. He said this is a type of peace that all men of goodwill hate, is the type of peace that is obnoxious. Dr. King, these are his words. It is the type of peace that stinks in the nostrils of the Almighty God. And this is what this dirtbag Donald, what's his name? Donald Duck, whatever his name is, these filthy, disgusting warmongers, genocide, and BB. God. Okay, now is very, God can't make a Stradivarius without Stradivarius. Now is when you got to be, everybody's grateful at a banquet, is what I meant to say. Now is when you really have to play with animals. My parent won't let me have a dog, but I live right outside from across the street from a little tiny dog park, and oh, I know all the dogs' names, and I get my little dog fixes, and I love them. And also, we're being given a second chance. I believe it being given, we've given our power away, and we expected. They said, "Oh well, Frank, give Reaganomics a chance. You know, if it doesn't work, you know, people will change it." Well, it's been over 30 years, and people aren't giving it up. You know, once people have the power, they're keeping it. Western medicine has all the power. There, see people like me as people with syphilitic brains. They don't understand. See, a lot of what you're doing now, and when you're reading this stuff, keep in mind the mind is the caboose. It's the last one to get it. Like when your heart is telling you, do this, do that. Listen to it. As long as nobody's getting hurt, get a background. Pray for the courage. So here's a mind over medicine. I like what she says. I don't like that she doesn't really acknowledge cannabis, but she does bring out facts that laughter is proven good medicine. Fear and stress makes you sick. The real bad people in the Western medical industry now are just totally loving that people are getting stressed out, can't go to doctors now. This is like not even the first year of Donald Trump regime, the fascist regime that's upon us. So it's all about being your own doctor now. And then, of course, this is all about One Mind by Dr. Larry Dossey. And he talks about many materialistic scientists want to destroy not just the self, but the concept of consciousness as well. And here's the game gets real, and here the game gets really bizarre. For in eradicating consciousness, materialistic scientists and philosophers make a war on their own minds. For instance, philosopher and cognitive scientist Daniel Gentit of Tufts University said that we're all zombies. No one is conscious. He includes himself in this generalization and seems rather proud of it. Patients have been declared mentally incompetent for lesser reasons. Yeah, this whole chapter here is the self. And it says right in the beginning, this is Larry Dossey's book, One Mind by Dr. Larry Dossey. Why are you unhappy? Question mark. Because nearly everything that you say and do is for yourself, quote unquote. Uh, and there isn't one. That's a Chinese proverb. The Buddha taught 2,500 years ago that there is no substantial self to make war on. The self, he said, is an illusion, a confection of emotions, fears, desires, wants, and strivings, what he calls attachments that get in the way of personal growth and transformation. So the Buddha would agree that the scientists who are trying to dismiss the self are on the right track because the self is a non identity. We must not confuse self and I. Now, this is important. As the psychologist at another university in San Francisco, the core of subjectivity is the I, quote, the identical to awareness. This I should be differentiated from the various aspects of the personal, physical person and its mental contents, which form the self. Most discussions of consciousness confuse the I and the self. The identity of awareness and the I means that we know awareness by being it. Even Einstein, arguably the most famous scientist in history, affirmed the value of breaking the bondage of the personal ego. In language that sounds decidedly Eastern, he said, the true value of a human being is determined primarily by the measure and the sense in which he has attained liberation from the self. The message of science is that the self is an illusion. It is consistent with many great wisdom traditions and may be stepped along one spiritual path. In this way, science has become an unwittingly ally of spirituality, but science efforts to eradicate the self is hypocritical as well. Anyone who has spent much time in academic science quickly realizes the scientists have some of the most egos, yeah, overblown egos and bloated senses of self on the planet. They appear eager to dismiss the self in others, but not in themselves. Ha ha ha! Hypocrites. Okay, here's the five elements. Space, there's not four elements, there's five. Space is an element. What NASA's going right through is where everything comes from. So right now, use space to create, and our fire create people who don't heal, don't have the imagination it takes. You have to have a schooled imagination. You have to know what not when your mind is getting hijacked and say, no, I'm going to change the channel now. I'm going to laugh at that. Here's the air now. Remember now, the goddess energy. Life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved. People can't create because they're wasting their energy allowance on trying to figure out something that was never meant to be, that was inconceivable from the gate. Or some things we were, our minds, we can't see certain colors. We can't think some messages we're not ready, but we can't accept that. We got to do the impossible. Let's make cleaning up planet Earth. It's not dying. Let's stop killing planet Earth. This is the fire now. There's a fish of abundance in this cup now. Start really working on. Oh, and there's hope. Look at this. Look at this. All this be firmly in the subconscious and on the conscious, and let every day take care of itself. Just show up optimistic and cut through all the crap now. Neutralize your throat rules all the chakras. You can make a spell for yourself, a wonderful spell. Like we don't have voodoo doctors now, but we have televised direct to commercial, direct to consumer pharmaceutical ads, and they put curses on you. They have these actors. I don't know how these actors live with themselves about. Oh, they tell you, you have this inside of you right now, and it's ready. It's like, man, I start cursing at the TV, throwing rolled up paper balls at it. I go, get out of here. Or like I'm watching a good movie, and all of a sudden, this guy gets up there with his heartwarming story about how I don't want it. Everybody's got their stories, you know. But they, as I said, they love to get you upset now. I love TV, and as I said, even if I could probably afford it if I really wanted it. I wouldn't have cable TV because I'm part of. I didn't come into. I didn't incarnate to see how the rich are living. I've been around. I've lived a long life in many lifetimes. And I think a lot of them have been pretty cushy ones. Okay, let me see. Anything else my friends need to know now? So yeah, the new moon now. I planted a new plant. I transplanted a beautiful plant I found on the sidewalk the other day. And because I did it on the Jewish holiday of atonement, and I thought that plant was my symbol of the new atoned psychic Frank. And anything else, dear one mind? Uh, yeah, we're all like these Jesus, the hippie Jesus. These were all astronauts of inner space. Far in is far out. Okay, here we have what we collectively think of ourselves, what we want, what we're fearing, what's going on for us, against us, and the final outcome. Okay, for now, keep your eye. We're getting this is a universal 1 month. For the United States of America, it's a 3 month. So we're going to see some sprouts come up of this month of seeds we planted a while back. But for the most part, keep your eye on the ball. Like this is happening for us, not to us. And when I say victims don't heal, that's a state of mind. When hell freezes over, I'll skate. Nonviolent resistance. Uh, yeah, we're growing up now. We're using that fire of creativity to think back in your life how many times you've been up against the wall when doctors told you you weren't going to make it. What, you didn't know how you were going to pay the rent, and then something happened. Think back to those times instead of using your mind about fear. Fear contracts, love expands. Let your heart expand with the love. Breathe, let it breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in the wisdom of the eternal universe, and expel all the the garbage that's being spewed out of this nasty, vile administration we have now. It's happening. Martial law is upon us. Portland, Portland, Oregon now. The most peaceful people I know up there. I made fun of all these. It's the most, you know, what do they do? Drink coffee and sing folk songs? You know, yeah, this is he's totally, like I said, what happened when Uranus hit my moon? Yes, my Kundalini. Oh, for a lot of us now, Kundalini, Kundalini is waking up now. So trust it's all help. Trust that you don't have to understand it. You just have to go with it. If it feels right, do it. If it feels good, do it. This is what we're fearing now. It's going on for us. Not being able to dance around money, not being able to be actually happy, taking some time to just enjoy it. I dance all the time, and I live in an apartment building, and I make sure I dance when the woman downstairs from me, the young lady downstairs from me isn't home. But Gabby and Gabby loves when I dance. I love my parrot. By the way, I told Gabby before I left the house today, we're getting along so much better now that I do my shows here and not in my apartment, but that's another story. Okay, here's what's going on for us now. As I said, we're being given a second chance. This is a major arcana, means there's only 22 out of 78 major arcanas. It means it's timely now. So yeah, Gory Laurie, he's a hopeless, he's a hopeless individual. He just doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. He's got a cash register where his heart ought to be, dollar signs in his pupils and his eyes. More money will fix everything. He doesn't get that these people need a spiritual experience. That's the only thing that's going to sober them up. The more we get psychic healings going on around here, let's get Golden Gate to be a psychic awareness month, at least one day out of the month. Bring the psychic fairs back. There's a few. Contact me. Anybody at City Hall? I'm in Hayes Valley. You could walk on your break from City Hall. Or is there anybody in City Hall anymore? You won't catch me dead in there anymore. I know I've been thrown out of better places than City Hall. But, they told me they didn't want me back because I wasn't going to have my consciousness polluted by bending down and kissing the ring of London Breed, Ed Lee, and all the rest of them. Judgment teaches us to pull up the relics of our past so we could sort out the treasures from the trash. With time, memories merge and distort. We form associations with events, people, and places and paint everything around them in the same broad strokes. Nuance is lost. It is time to get it back by digging out the pieces of your story and putting them back together in a way that makes sense to you now. When you see the judgment approaching this card, clearing clutter now. Begin with the most obvious, your closet junk. That's a good thing to do. Um, Besides dancing, you got to dance to keep from crying. Yeah, I've been doing an autumn cleaning, and yeah, just the other day I got up and I just had to get my kitchen in order. And boy, I got on my hands and knees and scrubbed the floors, and oh, I had What a refreshing experience that was. That spirit will take hold and open up more interior spaces in your heart and mind. So this is my heart now. This closet is all full of clutter and garbage, and I'm gonna clear it all out. And you'd be surprised. And especially when you go to sleep at night, just don't pray for this. Pray for the understanding of fulfilling what your heart came in. Your destiny was etched into your heart before you were born. Line up with that destiny. And Dr. Peck wrote a book for like 20 years. It was called The Road Less Traveled On. The first sentence in that book was, life is hard. Once you get that, it gets easier. But we're just raised, I don't know, advertising, laziness is a crutch. Laziness is a horrible, horrible thing. Uh, uh, it's not a virtue. It's something you want to fix. It's a character defects, laziness. And it's why we're in the shape we are now, physically, mentally, every aspect now. We've become heartless zombies, uh, walking corpses. And we got the king of the walking corpses as mayor of San Francisco. Yeah, this is what we're hoping for now. We've got a star to follow now. We've all got a North Star. Line up with that now. You treat yourself before you go to sleep at night, and you'd be surprised. You wake up feeling like, wow, something really did shift. Yeah, let's cut through all the. As I said, there's so much. It's like Pam Gregory was going with all the planets, bringing all this information. It's this cavalry. Don't try to figure it out. It'll make you, what are they, shit will make you crazy. And it is. It's all just poop. The fact is, help somebody. Help somebody. Get out of yourself and realize what can I do to make somebody's life a little better, some animals a little. It could be seeing an animal in trouble. I couldn't do foster care for animals. I get too attached, but people have to do it. Volunteer somewhere. And let's get a community. Let's start getting a community together and start activating. All right. Oh well, the time is up now. Okay, I'll be back on the 17th, and we'll talk about the next big event coming up as on the I believe it's the 23rd of October. We have the Libra new moon, I believe. Yeah. Okay, a little more card before I let you guys go. We're gonna leave you this star card because this is so beautiful, and then I'll close for now. Okay, the star card, the star card. Ah, here we go. Now, this is one sentence out of here that's really beautiful. What magic moment? The star teaches us that there is always hope. In the vastness of the universe, against all odds, we exist here on a planet with exact right conditions for conscious life to form, traveling around a star on one of the swirling arms of our galaxy. A life force runs through our existence, eternal, unbroken, carrying us through the past to here and into the future of tomorrow. Guided by a shining star, channel that force and make it visible for others. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you on the astral plane. Pray for guidance. Like, God forbid you would go to bed with your boots on. Don't go to sleep with your troubles. Release your challenges. Give them to the Blessed Mother, the Queen of the Angels, and ask one mind to get your heart. Follow your heart. Will only to will God's will, and you can't go wrong. Because my will is nothing. My world is nothing the way I wanted it to be, and thank God for that. Thank God for unanswered prayers. Okay, I'll see you guys on the 17th. I'll be back here. I love you, and thanks for everything. Thanks for the support. And once again, there's my YouTube channel, psychicfrank11 at gmail.com. Um, if you want to talk to me or you want a healing, yeah, no charge. Meet me in front of my building. Can't do the tarot cards, but definitely have a few words with me. Okay, Hayes Valley. Um, let's start protest. Let's stop being yes men to Doctor this Mayor Laurie, Gory Laurie, and let's start really telling people. No, he's uh, he's beholden to people who gave him at least a couple of $100,000. You know, was it 12 people gave him $100,000 apiece? That's $1,200,000, Doctor Mayor Laurie. And then if you see on his you Google up his name, and his fee for being mayor is $1. Well, you'd have to have some set of balls to after you campaign to deceive us. Oh God, we need help. We need divine help. Pray for San Francisco, the city I adore. I love this city. We deserve better than this venture vulture capitalists that have moved in for the rat like the rats they are to for the kill. No, let's fight to keep this spirit of San Francisco alive. I love you. Okay, I'm going now. Bye. Bye.